As we are approaching the deadline to file the tax report in Germany, this year it's July 31st, let's discuss if you have to file report or actually everything is covered by your employer who done all the tax report on your behalf. In this video, I'm going to share with you the cases when it's actually mandatory to file the tax report. Let's see if you're actually falling into any of that. Do you need to hire any tax advisor, or you can do this by yourself? And also I would share with you how much I got returned from my taxes in my previous years. So if you are curious, stay with me and let's dive deep into the first cohort of people, who is the vast majority, I assume, watching this video, is the full-time or part-time employees. In this case, everything is covered by your employer. They calculated how much taxes you have to pay and already done this on your behalf, and you can actually review this information once you receive the annual pay slip from your employer, where all the numbers are actually transparently provided. How much you got as the gross salary, how much of that amount was paid for your income, taxes and other contributions that are actually mandatory in Germany. This case is the most common one and actually doesn't require any additional actions from your side. But if you have the job that allows you to work from home, in this case you can actually get some benefits out filing your tax report. It's still not mandatory for you, but you can do this voluntarily and actually file the report providing the information, how much you paid for your internet, for your phone that you use, your personal phone you use for work, also including some Nebenkosten, that's the costs that are associated as the utilities for your household. In this case, all the documents that are provided by your landlord would be super helpful, because in this case you would clearly see how much you actually paid for additional utilities, and then you can include it into the tax report and get some money back. It depends if you have a separate room for your home office or you're working from the common space. In that case, you, for example, don't receive much money, but you still can get some money back out of the utilities you paid for the specific apartment that you have been using as the home office as well. I recommend you to not ignore this opportunity, especially if you upgraded your home office, you purchased some furniture or some devices that were required actually for you to do your work. Then you can return even more money from your tax report, and you can do this completely by yourself. I have experienced that my very first time without being fluent in German. I actually used one of the English-speaking apps that provided me with all the questionnaire, and I easily followed through, provided all the numbers, and got some money back to my account. Now let's move on to the next cohort of people. It's the people who got the 2 or more income streams simultaneously within one calendar year. In this case, it's actually mandatory for you to report your taxes and see if you paid just enough taxes, or you need to compensate some amount of money, or you actually got some money back. It depends on your specific situation. Anyway, you are required to file the additional tax report from your side and got all the pay slips from different employers, so then you can compile all the information all together and actually see if you are in plus or minus and receive or return money back to the state office, Finanzamt. But if you had some side gigs along the year and received up to 410 euro per calendar year, then it doesn't require any additional tax filing from your side. But if you got supplementary income above 410 euro from renting out apartment or having some side gigs, teaching someone with, I don't know, mathematics or something like this, or providing some services as a side gig to your main job, then actually you need to file the report and you would return some money back from the income that is above this threshold of 410 euros per calendar year. In case you received some unemployment benefits or parental leave benefits, or even had a sabbatical, you also need to provide the additional tax report at the end of the year to keep a balance between the taxes that has been paid and the taxes that needs to be paid. And talking from the experience that I observed from my colleagues, I can actually advise you, if you are planning to have the kids in the nearest future, it's it's better to consult with some tax advisor who can actually provide you with some helpful tips how you can compensate and take the best out of the tax regulation system here in Germany in order to maximize your total household income based on the situation you are right now, and anyway be prepared how the parental benefits will work in your favor and how you need to report them back to the tax office. One more case when the mandatory tax reporting is actually required is if you have, as a married couple, imbalanced income. For example, someone receives significantly less money than the other person. In that case, you might fall into the rule of having different tax classes, 3 and 5. In Germany we have different classes, and people who are more proficient on understanding how tax system works in Germany can actually maximize the household income per year. Let me know if you want to know this in more details. I would prepare it as a separate video on my channel. But if you have the situation and you are paying taxes in your as a couple who are married with the different tax classes, 3 and 5, then it's actually required for you to file the tax report in order to provide all the proofs that makes all the data transparent, keep in balance all the income and the taxes that's being paid according to the income. And in case you are self-employed, you are doing some services or having some side gigs on regular basis, then you are also required to file the tax report. And your total income per calendar year is more than 11,604 euro in total, you actually start paying income tax. If you have doubts and you want to make sure you are not going against the law in Germany and actually taking the benefit out of knowing all the regulation and how you can return some money back on your account, I would recommend you to go to specialists to have a consulting hour and make sure that you are doing everything right in order to avoid any penalties, because if you miss your deadline and you actually have to file the tax reports, your fine can start from 500 euro up to 25,000 euro. And with that said, I can share with you how much money I made on my previous year. For example, in 2020 I received 112 euro. In 2021 I received 313 euro. In 2022 I received again 113 euro, and in 2023 I received 246 euro as the tax return on my banking account. This year I have already filed my tax report for the previous year, for 2024, and I've been promised to receive more than 2,000 euro. I don't know how much of this pre-calculated assumption would really come to reality, how much I would get in return, but I will definitely let you know in my later videos, and as I would share with you more and more how I actually do my tax report. But what I can say for sure, that for me as for expat, it was relatively easy and straightforward exercise to follow along the questionnaire in the tax apps and provide all the information to the Finanzamt in order to get some money back from my taxes. So if you want to do that, I would recommend you to use any of the paid apps that are provided right now on the market. I know that Elster also provide a service for free, but it's way more difficult, especially if you don't know the German on the bureaucratic level very well. And the final tip that I want to give you in this video, if you don't know if you actually would get some money back from your tax report, you can download the app. Any of them you can find easily. It's either TaxFix, WunderTax and other similar apps that are available on the marketplace, and go through the questionnaire, and they would actually pre-calculate the assumption that you may receive. And if there is not significant amount of money for you, you can not proceed this further and cancel the whole procedure. But if you see the significant number and you are willing to pay 30-35 euro for the service, go ahead and just file your tax report if you see it makes sense for you. With that said, let's see each other on my next videos. I'm going to share more information about the taxes in Germany in some more specific cases, and let's see each other in my next episode that are already available on my channel. Take care and see you very soon. Bye bye!